such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder, Charlie Kirk, right here in Utah.
And I regret my damn vote, okay? He promised America first, now he's sending billions to Israel while we're drowning back home.
And sir, why are you so upset today?
I voted for him to protect America, and now he's throwing our money at other countries and dragging us into another war. I didn't vote for him to babysit the whole damn world. I voted for America first.
You ever notice how history doesn't just repeat, it adapts? Because if you listen to people in 2025, right now, you'll hear them saying, "This isn't the Trump I voted for. I didn't know it would go this far." Sound familiar? Because if you've ever picked up a book about history, it should. It's not the first time people have said it, and we really need to talk about what that means. Because here's the thing. Yes, absolutely. There were Germans who said, "This isn't what I voted for," when Hitler fully seized power. But let's get specific so we don't miss the lesson. When Hitler came to power in 1933, he didn't run on a single clear promise of genocide and dictatorship. He ran on ending the economic collapse of the Great Depression, restoring German pride after the humiliation of World War I, punishing the corrupt political elites of the Weimar Republic, stopping communist revolution, and uniting true Germans. A lot of people supported those goals without signing up for what came next. Some of them literally said later on, of course, "We wanted jobs and stability. We didn't want war. We wanted an end to street violence, not book burnings. We voted for law and order, not camps," because they thought the radical parts were just talk. They assumed he didn't really mean it. Or they just figured it wouldn't touch them. But here's the truth they didn't want to face. Hitler told them exactly what he believed. He wrote Mein Kampf. He made no secret of his anti-Semitism. He promised to smash democracy. And he used fear and scapegoats from day one. So why did people convince themselves that it wouldn't go that far? Because they only wanted to believe the parts that benefited them. Because they hated the other just enough to look away. Because they thought they could control him. Because beating their enemies felt more important than protecting democracy. And when he took over, sure, some regretted it. Some said, "This isn't what I wanted," as freedoms vanished. Some tried to distance themselves, and some just went quiet. But by then, it was too late. He'd outlawed dissent, controlled the press, dismantled the system that could have stopped him. Now look at us. In 2025. Tell me it doesn't sound familiar. Because you've got people saying, "This isn't the Trump I voted for. I just wanted the economy strong. I just wanted the border under control. I didn't want camps." But let's be real, he told you who he was. He said immigrants were an invasion. He called the press an enemy. He praised dictators, refused to concede when he lost. He pardoned the people who stormed the Capitol for him. He said he'd be a dictator on day one. It was never subtle. You just didn't want to see it. And now we have actual camps in 2025. Alligator Alcatraz, a real detention camp in the Florida Everglades. Razor wire, surrounded by swamps and predators. Thrown up in 2 weeks to terrify migrants into leaving. Bragged about like it's a victory, sold to you as security. It's cruelty as policy, fear as branding. Exactly as promised. So if you're saying this isn't what I voted for, ask yourself, which parts did you think were just for show? Which scapegoats did you decide were acceptable? Which warning signs did you ignore because you thought you'd never pay the price? Because that's how it always goes. People tell themselves that the violence is exaggerated, that the tough talk is just talk, that it's about keeping order, not taking freedom, until it's too late to stop. And by then, there's no voting it out. There's no easy way back. So no, I don't want to hear "this isn't what I voted for" as an excuse. Because history doesn't give free passes for willful ignorance. It gives warnings. And if y'all keep ignoring them, we're going to learn that same hard lesson all over again. That democracy doesn't die in a moment. It dies in a bargain. One that says as long as it benefits me, I'm going to look the other way. Until there's no one left to look. And no freedom left to save.
I'm seeing more and more people online saying, "Well, I voted for Trump, but I didn't vote to lose my job, and I didn't vote for a global trade war, and I didn't vote for Elon Musk to run amok in the government, slashing agencies and cutting jobs, and I didn't vote to see America's allies cast aside." Oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course you voted for that. You were perfectly happy to see all that happen as long as it didn't happen to you. And now that the leopard is eating your face, suddenly you've changed your tune. Well, you get no sympathy from me. You voted for that. You wanted that. So you sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. I don't care what happens to you. I just want you to feel the pain that you brought on yourself, because that is the only way you can learn.
My name is Angel. I live in Columbia, Missouri. I woke up watching news and finding out we are going to give Argentina a $20 billion bailout while we can't even have health care in this country. And we're falling apart. And our beautiful fucking orange wannabe God seems to think he needs a Nobel Peace Prize, which I don't understand, because he's tearing our country apart. I'm really not crazy. I really never do this. I am 60 years old. And for the first time in my life, I am scared to death to live in this country. I want to take my family and leave. I can't afford passports, imagine. But anyway, please, if you agree with me, call your senators, protest, do whatever you can. But I don't understand why we are giving another country $20 billion when so many people are on the verge of losing health care, so many rural hospitals are on the verge of closing. When this ACA or whatever they want to call it, Obamacare ends, everybody's premiums are shooting up. Not just the poor people you think are on Obamacare, but everybody's, because a whole system's going to have to absorb this. The system's going to have to absorb people they can't afford it and have to go to the emergency room for treatment, and that's all they can get. So we're going to let our people just lay here and die because they can't get health care, but we're going to bail out other countries? I don't understand. Please, if you agree with me and you think something needs to be done, just call your...
This is my last political post, okay? I'm gonna lay it to rest. Let me just tell you guys. I'm not crying happy tears. I'm not gonna be apologetic for being excited, because if it was the other way around, all of the Kamala supporters would celebrate. I want to say that first. I'm very relieved because I voted what I believe in, and I felt heavy on my heart that it's the right thing. So knowing that it was the decision the American people made, I'm relieved and I'm very happy. Very, very happy, okay? It's the very first day of finding out the election results. All of us are happy. I'm very happy. But I'm not going to continue to post about it. But I'm also not going to be sorry about it.
I believe that today the black people, sometimes before we speak this, we are not promoting violence, we are not promoting racism, but again we have to speak the truth, because all that is happening today is something that we have to speak, we have to spread, because a lot has been happening behind the scenes, but no one was ready to come and address these issues until the time now. The concerned people have been heated so much. The concerned people today are the white people, because we remember one thing, that immediately after Donald Trump came to office, the first thing he worked on is the deportation of the immigrants. And the white Americans were the one who were supporting this. They were the one who were shouting. They pressured the government to do this. And they forgot to know that those migrants, they call the second class, they call the legal citizens of this country, of that country. They forgot to know that they are the people who are working in the farms. They are the people who are working on the building sites. They are the people who are only dependent on hard labors, which the white people cannot do, because the black people have been doing anything they pass across, as long as it gives an earning, or it gives something for a daily earning, then they're okay. That's why they have been building the economy of this country by doing a lot of works. Maybe some of them, they were believed to not being able to pay taxes, but the work that they have been doing was already enough to pay the tax. So today, all the cry that we are watching, it's like, why are you regretting? Why do you have to regret for something that you knew? Because this is not accidentally. They knew, because the one who are employing the black farmers to their farms, they're the one who are giving them all these labors. So before they pressure the government to work on the deportation issues, they knew that the people who are going to be deported are the black people who are working on their farms. Now, They voted for tariffs, and they praised the government for tariff issues. After America has imposed tariffs in the country like China, they feel like China is going to be oppressed. China is going to maybe to collapse. But again, China is a country that has built the stronger diplomatic relationship with different countries. Today, even without Europe, China can stand with Africa. China can stand with all black nations. China can stand with India. So China has built a stronger relationship across the world that even the tariffs from America cannot affect them. But the tariff of China today, of America to China today, is affecting the entire country of America, because all that the goods that they have been used to sell or to transport to the country like China, they are no longer going. They are no longer happening. So this means that even the farmers today, like the issues of soybeans, which have been a lot of white farmers have been practicing, and they have been depended to use to sell out in the countries like China, in Canada, and all these great countries. They are not doing this. So today, the business of the white people are the one which have been affected. Today, the people who believed in MAGA, who believed in Donald Trump and his regime, they are the one today who are crying out. They are complaining because their business has collapsed. Their businesses has collapsed. They were told to boycott the business of the black Americans, and they did so. But the black Americans were majority, who were coming to associate with the local businesses on the streets, because most of the white Americans who are the second class or the middle class and the first class don't associate with the street businesses. They only depend on supermarkets, on the malls, and these are great deliveries. But the blacks are the one who have been supporting all these great businesses of the white people. Now, after the deportation issues, first of all, they lost the manpower to their farms, and now today their businesses are not moving. They are not able to transport their goods, their grains, their farm products, because the country they used to transport to transport, they are not able, because they impose tariffs which made them to cut off that relationship. So today, the MAGA voters are crying out because their businesses have come to an end. Their businesses have collapsed. Most of them have been put much loans in their businesses. Today, they have nowhere to get the funds to repay their loans. Today, the country is stagnant. The cost of living is much high, whereby the people of lower class are not able to afford the living, are not able to afford the basic needs. Today in America, most of the people are skipping meals because the life is not fitting their shoes. So suffering was only meant for the blacks, but not the whites. I remember once upon a time I came to do a video speaking about the black privilege, and there were some whites who were so surprised to hear for the first time about the black privilege. But the reality or the fact remains that black is the privilege, and the true definition of privilege. Because being a black is a privilege without having anything special. Melanin is a privilege. Because today, when you go in China, when you go in America, when you go in India, across the white nations, they admire the color of the black melanin. This melanated is the one of the color that has been tried so hard to be erased or eliminated the face of the world, because they fear the power behind the black because they fear the power behind blackness. Now, this is the one of the color that was the founder of every life, because we believe always that life started in Africa. And now, because the whites were lied, today up to this time, the white Americans are still living under the lies. They're still living behind the lies of their existence. And that's why today they're facing all these problems, because they were taught to believe, to hate other people and they learned and they believed to hate blacks with passion. Today, the black people are not suffering. Because all that's happening today in the country of America is normal. This is the life they're used to many years. No governmental regime came out to fight for them or protect them. No governmental regime came out to address their issues. Even the time of Barack Obama, who was an African American, and his victory brought tears in the eyes of the black Americans, because they believe that maybe the oppression has come to an end, because they have found a leader who is from their own community. But what happened? After Barack Obama was sworn in, he ascended to the throne and continued leading or ruling as how the system recommends. He never came out with a different statistics or idea of ruling and dealing with the black people, because we remember that Barack Obama was behind the death of Muammar Gaddafi. He was behind of the assassination of several African leaders. So that's the time that we believe that maybe something is going to change, and maybe the people of color are going to get something different from what they used to. But nothing came which was special. So today, for the white people, all that you are passing through is what the black have been passing through since their existence in the country of America. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised to be above their silence, because their silence speaks a lot. Through that silence, there's much speaking. There is much whispering, because during the time of segregation, they were even told to build their own schools, their own church. They were not allowed to associate with the whites in a community in either public space. So today, who is losing? Because this is the time we believe that is the rising of the black people, and this is the time of the fall of the white people. So I won't take much of your time, because this a deeper conversation that needs a lot of time. We can't deal towards every corner and touch every corner, but we have to share our ideas so that we can know what's really happening and how things are happening. We need the confirmation of the black people who are living in America, because at this time we know that many of them have relocated to Africa and other black nations. We have still some of them who are still living in America, because they are believing that they were made to struggle to survive. So they are preferring to struggle to survive, but this is not the time, because you have struggled over 500 years. So there's no need of continue or much struggling. This is the time of making a decision that you are sure that the entire generation will never regret. For those African Americans who have relocated back to Africa, they can testify. We have come across some of them who are giving out their testimonies, who are giving out their expression of how they feel living in Africa compared to how they lived in America. Because these are the people today who are coming to realize that they wasted a lot of time fighting with the government that they will have never come to win. So I will not take much of your time. Kindly, if you are new here, subscribe to the Black History, because we are here to deliver the Black History as how it required to hit the black people across the globe. Until next time, just tell them out of the comment section, leave a like and a comment so that you can be able to come back as we do it each and every day, each and every time. Let's meet on the next episode, on the next on the comment section, so that we can know what's really happening across the world and be blessed ranging from.